banned out for Imagine. If you lock in the Luna Snow, it's no surprise that, you know, the Hawkeye will be banned out from that perspective. It's just so strong, especially in this poke meta, right? The shields are down for less than a split second. You fire one of those arrows, get a nice clean headshot on one, suddenly you're a person down. So it's just way too much to bear. And from that perspective, ice arrows, it is not very, it's very common to see either, you know, if your opponent locks in that Luna, which Imagine did, that the opponent will counter with making sure your team up is dismantled. So this is kind of like the 5-hit chess plays that we want to really observe in that pre-round, right? We've got teams kind of banning out and then securing themselves a Magneto so that you deprive shields for your opponents but keep them for yourselves. This is kind of like the tug-of-war checkers into chess 5-hit moves that we really love to be able to see.
Oh yeah, and we are going into the first match. We were talking about the teams for a while, but now we are entering the first map of Reject versus Imagine. First map will always be domination as we head over to the main area, the main attraction of the site. Reject rocking a little bit of a flyer composition. They do have an Adam Warlock on the side, played by Gargoyle here, and it looks like they will use that Adam Warlock as like a off strategist, more on the DPS side. We'll see how they turn around as both the teams will just poke around, find something, as Shizu will find that pick onto Gargoyle, but he does have the Resurrect, and we will use it immediately. We'll see if he is going to get value out of that.
Yeah, the dance of the flyers just to be able to take some aerial space at the moment, forcing these strategists out of the way. But it's going to be Reject really taking a lot of space on the side here. Great walls coming out from Gnome to be able to deny the rest of Imagine out of this. And suddenly we're 5% inclined for the side of Rejects.
Yeah, Dobie gets an early pick onto Shizu, and that's going to allow Reject to push in, take over the site, and that counter is going up as the Iron Man ultimate is available on Finale. It's just a matter of positioning and timing to see when he will pop that pulse cannon. He's just waiting. I don't think anyone sees him. He's going to go fire it down, and he will wipe out one. That is good value coming in, as Finale might be able to finish off Shizu unless he's able to dash away to safety. No, and he gets even more. Make that a triple, and Piggy will clean it up. Imagine need to run for the hills. They need to reset immediately.
Oh, so much value just hiding in plain sight. Honestly, Finale doing so much work from that perspective, and Reject continue to be able to take that forward space. Has so many ultimates to be had, and we're already at 50% mark. So Imagine need to come strong and figure themselves out. Imagine now on that Punisher. Maybe that poke damage will force the Flyers out of position.
Right now, the main focus is going to be KNRT. Right now on our screen, he has Strangling Prison, but Gnome beats it to it. But the Fate of Both Worlds is well timed, and it will deny any sort of cleanup coming in, as Imagine will bump himself in. Psylocke Seduction going to go live, as well as here we go. This is the domino effect that we will see in this professional play, as all of these ultimates are going to be dumped. Supernova, Invisible Domain, everything, even the Meteor as well, just to try to find one pick, and it's going to be to Decapitate, going to be getting that first pick onto a player, as Finale going absolutely crazy yet again. He just got a triple elim now. He's just going to clean it up again. And it looks like Reject, blink and you miss it, will just absolutely wipe the floor in this round number 1.
Series of Flyers. Season of Flyers. We say it time and time again. Reject with clean sweep. Honestly, not a single percent given
Nope,
to
not
the
a
side
single
of
one.
Imagine. And that's going to be, like you said, blink and you miss it, and we almost completely missed the action right there. But hopefully we're able to bring some heart-pumping action right there. Moving into that second point is going to be Imagine trying to fight for their lives and keep themselves above water.
Well, this is going to be difficult, because if you know in Domination, your ultimate percentage does transfer over unless you do switch to a different character. And right now, looking at the numbers, Reject are heavily in favor of just taking that early control. Look at Imagine, so many players in that single low double-digit numbers, and Reject, look at them. Most of them are at 50% or higher, and especially Gargoyle with that Karmic Revival. It's going to be hard for Imagine to get any sort of momentum right now, in at least the early stages of this round number 2.
Yeah, I mean the triple Sentinel, but on the side of Reject, is so powerful at the moment because, you know, you've got the the Gargoyle plus Dobby able to resurrect either of them simultaneously, which means that you don't have 6 players on the table. You might have 7 or 8 with those revives coming out, and with the amount of sustain that they can push through to be able to have, as well as the discipline to hold their ultimates for the right team engagements, it means that Imagine will have to cook very hard, and they're starting off strong with that high ground advantage, maybe trying to pick up these flyers, but you know, it's been a tussle so far, and right now Reject sit on that site comfortable, hoping to force Imagine out of place.
Yeah, right now Reject get their ultimates charged up first. Dobby dangerously low will get sustained up back to safety as KNRT going to be the main focus of this tank as these ultimates are starting to come up. It's just a matter of who wants to pop theirs first, who wants to use it. Here comes the Psionic Seduction as well as the Soul Resurgence. Vex is going to pop the Fate of Both Worlds to keep his team alive, but a great shove pushes the 2 Vanguards into the pits. It's going to leave every one of the squishies a little bit exposed for just a bit longer, and Piggy will take a lot of advantage off of that as he keeps going forward, gets another pick onto the other duelist, and he is just not stopping as Reject will get that first point, and Piggy is just, he doesn't give a damn. He's just going to keep going. The Groot's going to try to wall himself away. No, he has no escape. He uses both walls, and he still goes down thanks to Gnome's right click.
That's a terrible stagger, and honestly, able to get away with it goes Piggy out of harm's way, and that's gonna be just more time bleeding away for the side of Imagine to get onto point.
Oh, here's an adjustment.
You know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an adjustment. KNRT realizes the Groot might not be the best option right now. Will go towards the Doctor Strange as this choke point just being heavily controlled by Gnome with those walls as well. It's gonna be so difficult for Imagine. They're gonna make another adjustment. They're gonna go the other way, but there's more Groot walls to deal with, and Shizu, he's not in the best position to use that supernova, but you gotta do what you gotta do as Imagine will pop the final judgment. We'll get 1 onto Gargoyle and a second onto Piggy, and he's gonna try to go ham. Gargoyle does get the resurrect off thanks to his passive ability as so many more ultimates are coming in. The Soul Resurgence going to be alive for Reject. Gnome getting dangerously low, but it looks like the Karma Revival actually keeps him up and going again. Piggy going to pop the Psionic Seduction, and that domino effect coming down once again. But Imagine they're able to control the site for a little bit.
Yeah, in the midst of all this chaos, they suddenly switch those sides, and so their percentage is climbing at the moment, but it's on them to try and hold back the attack from the side of Reject. They're coming in strong with just Iron Man high in the sky, and Piggy and Finale just doing one of their own. Finale with a second on to cut. Imagine shutting down as well. It's all over for the side of Imagine. Before you know it, 65, 66% and climbing. Reject take control of the point once more.
They do take control once again, but this time on the bright side, Imagine they do get a bit of percentage under their belt, but now the main focus is how are they going to get control back onto this site as the ultimate's not available for Imagine just yet. Finale still holding the pulse cannon. It's just a matter of when he's going to use it. Oh, he's going to use it now. He's going to get a good positioning down. Then he's going to get 2 off the rip. Can he get more? No. Shizu is able to shut him down, but Mocha is able to clean up house as he gets a double for himself. Piggy will get a third for the team as well as Imagine. They just drop like flies, and now match set. It's going to be game number 1 going over to Reject, and it's a great showing from this team who have a lot of that competitive experience under their belt.
Oh, 100%, right? Rejects, they're feeling strong. They come in just guns a-blazing, punches a-swinging, and just take down their enemy opponents at the moment. Imagine coming through those OQs, really having their meat tested for them, to be honest. Was able to warm up a little bit more during that second map, get at least, I think like 30% of it on to that point, but I could not hold on for it just much more. I had to cycle through a bit more. Now the stats are up, and those triple sentinels just doing so much work. Gargoyle, not much healing, but that damage output just to be able to sustain and provide so much long-range poke value is just phenomenal. But of course, we're gonna have to peel our eyes to Finale, right? The first appearance as a duelist for Reject, coming in clutch as the duelist of the Korean team here with 15 final hits, Dan.
I know that's absolutely wild. He's gotten I mean, that's no surprise. You know, he's gotten so many multi-kills, especially in that first round. Psylocke is still a decently strong diver. This probably has the most range of any other diver, especially with those left clicks. And it looks like that will be the first adjustment, hopefully the first of many on the side of Imagine, as we do head into the streets of Yggdrasil in this first convoy.
Yeah, no, that Captain America pick is interesting. You know, I'm trying to figure out if that's going to be useful. Honestly, the survivability of a great Captain America main is to die for, right? Like, to be able to just get into your opponent's backlines, wrangle and tussle around with your strategists and duelists, and then get out of there basically near scot-free is crucial. And so we would be interesting to see how that's played off. But actually, moving into we'll be able to switch off to that Captain America coming right off the bat. The high ground from the side of Imagine is being seized. They want to be able to take advantage of that. Just to be able to maybe hold that cart round this corner. This is going to be a first crucial corner coming out as we're poking and prodding, just trying to build up your ultimate percentage to a healthy level.
Yep, this first corner is very difficult for the attacking side to get through, especially because of that choke point. But like we said before this match, there is a lot more map to work with, especially on these convoy maps, and now these ultimates are starting to get stacked up. But Imagine they fall first. KNRT going to get absolutely exploded as Finale. He was the main show in that first match. This one, no exception. They are just steamrolling. It hasn't even been a hopeful minute yet.
It hasn't. 50 seconds have passed and we're already claiming that first point for your own. Reject have turned the tables onto their heads. How the tables have turned with now a great,
here we go.
You know, a teleport coming out, and now Decapitate will be able to pass through, but is now being just bombarded upon all freaking angles, and now forcing them back onto that spawn, and the first point will be capped by the side of Reject.
Yeah, and the push continuing to go. Despite the portal being used, it's not going to be enough. Reject finally do register that first point as KNRT trying to find ways to get into the back line. Or at least that's what it seems like, as Vex is trying to do her best to survive and keep this Strange alive, but it's to no avail. KNRT just getting picked yet again. I feel like there's been a common theme, at least in this current matchup. KNRT just getting absolutely picked, and it's going to be difficult for everyone to come back in as these ultimates are going to be used. Piggy still holding onto this Psionic Seduction. It's a matter of when will he use it. Goes into the Iron Form, tries to get a little bit of that CC immunity, and thinks that now is the perfect time to use it, as all of Imagine trying to peel away, trying to kite away. And it looks like it's not going to be enough as the Kraken Impact going to be popped by Gargoyle. Just going absolutely crazy. Does it again. Does it again. Can he get more? He's going to go again. That's another triple. That makes it a penta for Gargoyle. He saw Finale going crazy. Gargoyle's like, nah, I want to do it as well. And it looks like second point. Done. Dusted. And now Imagine have to run for the hills. They need to group up for this third point. But Reject, looks like there's no signs of stopping.
There's no signs. That team ace was done perfectly from Gargoyle with the Kraken Impact, and they've really changed their formula altogether with the 2-2-2 composition to be able to include dive, and Finale getting into the back line supported by Gnome and Gargoyle is just so much to add. With the supports, you know, you got the Loki plus your Invisible Woman just providing all this backup. Piggy getting in everyone's faces is just too much to handle at the moment. Imagine they're going to have to try and find something to cut the ice, stop the momentum, but once again, Kurt goes down.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Gargoyle going absolutely crazy. Dance to the Butterfly also going to zone away everyone on Imagine, but is it really zoning if they're all dead? And just like that, Reject going to wipe the floor yet again. Imagine just can't get any sort of ground. They can't gain any momentum, and Imagine they have a lot of ultimates to be used. And these ultimates are going to get taken away. We'll see how it goes. Ice Bear will get the first pick on here. The Fate of Both Worlds going to be perfectly timed, but the counter ultimates coming in from Reject is going to be perfectly timed as well. But right now, Imagine they need to dump all their ultimates right now, or else this first half of this round is going to be over just like that. But Gargoyle, he's going to go again with the Kraken Impact, but the Invincible Domain going to buy a little bit of time. Eye of Agamotto going to be stunning away Gargoyle, shutting him down from that Kraken Impact. Let's imagine the main mascot of his team trying to do his best to get some sort of damage down, but the extra bonus healing coming in on Reject is just going to be too much. Mocha will get another pick. Vexus doing his best to try to keep the team alive. Finale with another great pick will get that Dance of the Butterfly down. This time it's a zoning ultimate. This time the convoy will move into the third point and there is no resistance. Reject with a very, very fast 3-0.
Wow. Wow, before you know it, once again, the prowess from the side of Rejects just storming through all three sites with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left on the clock. That is an amazing amount of time to be had and puts, honestly, a lot of pressure onto Imagine to have to climb back here. Right, they're gonna have to fight their way through and get hopefully a similar time to at least tie things up and force an OT here on a convoy map, or else unfortunately they're gonna have to bid their first point in the group stages goodbye.
Yeah, it's blink and you miss it. Like, it's a recurring theme from this from that first match, and this one no exception. And now it's Imagine's turn to be on the offensive side. And what will the plan here be? We saw Imagine on the defensive side getting that high ground advantage, or at least doing their best to do so. But will Reject do the same? Or do they have something else cooking up?
I gotta say, right, like, not to nitpick or anything, but Imagine just held on to those ultimates a little too long, right? There's no perfect time to pop an ultimate. The best time to pop an ultimate was the last second, right? And so now is the best time to use it, and I hope they kind of think about that moving into the next phase, because Reject are gonna come in slamming the brakes against this Kark ASAP with the structures falling.
Look at them go!
And the Venom taking all this space right now. Kurt trying to make some waves in the back line as the in-house Venom, that switch off to be able to maybe disrupt and cause a bit more chaos.
Ooh, wait, that's a pick!
Heavy comp from the side of Reject, but Finale goes down early.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge pick coming in for Imagine. They will round that first corner with relative ease. Finale going to be out of commission for a bit longer. I mean, this Venom just getting so much control off the rip just allows the rest of Imagine to just clean it up. He will just get that extra sustain with thanks to his ability kit as well as a mag bubble. But right now Piggy wants to track him down, but he is distracted by something else. Mocha another pick onto this Hella on Imagine as a good shove comes in as Imagine try to push forward right now as Mocha trying to peel for the team. Gargoyle, we've seen him go absolutely crazy with that Kraken Impact. We'll see if he'll do it again. It looks like he does have it up and ready to go. Piggy going to move forward as well with Gnome to just keep Imagine in their own spawn. And slowly but surely, this is starting to look painful on the side of Imagine.
It really is, you know. Despite having dropped Finale so early on, they somehow managed to just sustain the advancements here. And as Imagine starts pushing down, Reject don't give them any space. They continue to push up, and now Kurt, deep in the backline, is being heavily CC'd out and will be shut down immediately. And as Gargo on, as Mocha as well, just on the fly, snowballing the way back onto Imagine, decapitate the final member. We'll have to drop to prevent any sort of staggering coming out. Ooh, it's a firefight right now. Piggy's claiming lives.
Piggy's having a lot of fun right now, just swinging his mouse everywhere. Realized that he didn't really need to use the Psionic Seduction, but right now, Reject, they have so much momentum, and look at the timer. We've already gone halfway. But it's looking scary on the side of Imagine. They need to find a way. It looks like a desperate attempt coming in from this Venom. Trying to do his best to do something right now. And he's just going to go down. Another desperation attempt. And again, just getting poked by himself as the rest of Imagine need to pick up the pieces. Trying to do their best to avenge their fallen teammate as the convoy moving in a little more, but this Invisible Domain coming in on the side of Reject is going to stunt their progress just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can put on a Venom, especially because there's no one else following up, and that's gonna be the Mega Hurricane coming out to sustain the rest of these players here, and as well as the fate of both worlds. A lot of team fights and just waiting for some ultimates to come on. Gargoyle, I'm looking at Gargoyle and Finale, both duelists with some powerful ultimates,
Kraken
and that's
Impact.
gonna be the Kraken Impact doing so much work against the attackers right now.
And oh my goodness, look at it. And everyone is gone. Everyone needs to recollect. I think right now with the timing, they only have one good push remaining. 40 seconds left on that timer. Decapitate trying to get some early space. He was the first person to respawn, but not looking good right now. As Imagine are starting to group up a little more as the Dance of the Butterfly going to cause a lot of problems right now as a triple comes in. Gargoyle will clean up, and just like that, Imagine they wanted to find an opportunity. They find a door to open, but Reject, they're already there. They're just going to lock the door, throw away the key, and just like that, it looks done and dusted for Imagine right now.
Kurt on that Spider-Man, maybe trying to touch point and force an overtime at the moment. I think we'll be able to do just that. So overtime has been initiated as Imagine scramble to try to get back onto the site, but oh, that OT is dying, running out of timer, and Imagine will drop very quickly.
Oh my gosh, wait, the invisible domain might buy a little bit of time, but it looks all to be over right now. There is some desperation pushes. We call this the one at a time strat. It's not going to work out. Imagine will fall 2-0 it in the hands of Reject.
Oh, I don't have words apart from, you know, Reject. They have been so strong so far, you know, placing so well in the previous Marvel Rivals Invitational earlier this year, and then absolutely stomping their opponents here in their first appearance here in the Ignite Stage 1 against Imagine. Their prowess is just to be admired. And once again, you know, a secondary duelist, a separate one, Gargoyle taking the lead with more final hits than we saw previously. 24 to
hey,
boot.
to be
amazing
fair,
gameplay for these.
To be fair, Finale had
yes.
a lot less time to work with, so it's nothing to scoff at. But both Gargoyle and Finale were doing so much work right there. Gargoyle with those resets, thanks to the Kraken Impact. Finale getting those important zones.